Hi everyone, and welcome to my very first video on my brand new YouTube channel. I wanted to start a YouTube channel dedicated to the experiences that myself and Lowie experience as highly sensitive individuals. This is also known for short as HSP for person and HSD for dogs. Being a highly sensitive individual is considered a personality trait. It is not a syndrome. It is not a disorder. It is perfectly normal. Although a particular person's or dog's sensitivities are on a spectrum and are specific to that individual. So, psychology today defines an HSP or highly sensitive person this particular way. It is a term coined by psychologist Elaine Aron, and according to Aron's theory, HSPs are a subset of the population who are high in a personality trait known as sensory processing sensitivity, or SPS for short. Those with high levels of SPS display increased emotional sensitivity, stronger reactivity to both external and internal stimuli, for example, pain, hunger, light, and noise, and a complex inner life. Dr. Aron also developed a questionnaire that I will link in the description below. Meanwhile, Dr. Maya Braem, a veterinarian out of Switzerland, published a paper on the highly sensitive dog. And she developed her own questionnaire that I will also link in the description below. Research has suggested that the highly sensitive trait is found in up to 20% of humans and approximately 100 animal species so far. So, as you can see, it is a very common personality trait. So, my journey to discover that I was an HSP. So, growing up, I thought that I was quite a bit different from my peer groups, especially some of the people I spent the most time with. I didn't particularly like hanging out with too many people after school, if anybody at all. I very much preferred sitting in my room, listening to music and writing. That was literally what I did from about 10 or 11, pretty much for as long as I could remember after that. I was also called too sensitive many times. I didn't really like going out. I didn't like loud things. We'll get into all of these things in future videos. So fast forward to as an adult and also feeling different, and then also suffering from anxiety many times. I was determined to figure out what's going on. Why was I weird? Pretty much. So for a very long time, I did research to discover, well, what kind of personality do I have? So one of the ones that I found was the highly sensitive person. So I took Dr. Aron's questionnaire and I hit a lot of the criteria for a highly sensitive person. So fast forward to getting a dog. In 2022, my husband kind of started talking about getting a dog. The family cat that was at the time living with my parents passed away in July of that year. And I was like, I can not get a cat again. Not for now. But I felt like I needed a pet again, even though it was going to be another heartbreak eventually. But I started looking. So right after my little boy passed away, I started looking at rescues in Ontario and locally. And one day I came across this face from our local Humane Society that I absolutely fell in love with. So the description of him was he was a half Australian Shepherd and Border Collie in Great Pyrenees. And he was about 8 months old at the time that I found him on the Humane Society website. we had a discussion and we decided to adopt them, or try to adopt them. The process for adoption is apply and see if you get approved. So this was very shortly after the cat had passed away, and I wasn't actually ready. I was thinking, oh, maybe in a few months, maybe in 6 months, but I was still looking. So we knew that it was going to happen. So it was about a week later that we got the call that we could go visit him. And so we went, and he was a bit of a handful. He liked to jump up. He did like to do some other behaviors. And I just remember sitting on the bench at the Humane Society at the entrance and just pondering and talking. It's like, well, do we take him? Can we handle him? And I looked at that face and I could not leave him behind. So guess who came home that day? Yep. Lowie came home that day. So we did discover some stuff about him. He was born in November at a farm about a half an hour away from us. I don't know exactly when he was adopted from there, but he was a short time later in April. So November to April, he was in homes. In April, he was dumped at the Humane Society, and the reason given was too much energy. And of course he had too much energy. He was partially a shepherd, and he was a little puppy. So he was at the Humane Society until May, I believe. He was adopted out again for 2 weeks, and when he was returned, apparently the lady that had adopted him had some bruising on her arm from him. So again, a lot of energy. And we found out that was from mouthing behavior, where a dog will put his mouth on a person. And yes, he does have that behavior. He did have that behavior, I should say. And because he was about 60 pounds when we brought him home, you can see that that was an issue. And yes, so over the next few weeks, obviously we saw a lot of signs in him. I mean, he was a puppy, but he had a lot of anxiety potential in him. So I did some more research and came across Dr. Braem's work and discovered the highly sensitive dog questionnaire. And yes, he also hits a lot of the criteria for highly sensitive individual. For my YouTube channel, I just want to go over some of the characteristics as proposed by Dr. Aaron and Dr. Braem about the highly sensitive person and dog, and tell you how Lowie and I relate to the characteristic. This is not meant to be medical advice. It's just meant to tell you about how we relate to the world. I hope you all come back and watch my future videos, and thanks for watching. Bye.